Begin in Australia, where it appears the Labour Party will form Australia's new government. It's still not clear whether it will be a majority administration or a coalition, with minor parties such as the Greens, who have done well. It means the end of the leadership of Scott Morrison, and Anthony Albanese will be crowned Australia's Prime Minister. A few moments ago, Scott Morrison conceded.
And so on a night like tonight, it is proper to acknowledge the functioning of our democracy. I've always believed in Australians and their judgment, and I've always been prepared to accept their verdicts. And tonight they have delivered their verdict, and I congratulate Anthony Albanese and the Labor Party, and I wish him and his government all the very best.
Scott Morrison, let's go live to Sydney to our correspondent Shaima Khalil, who is at the Opposition Labour event. Have we heard from Anthony Albanese yet?
No, we're expecting Anthony Albanese, Australia's new Prime Minister, to come in through those doors any minute now. There is a bit of a kerfuffle here. You can see from the cameras that they're ready for something to happen through that door. So we're thinking that he's coming this way, and when he does, we'll turn that way. A humbling night, a difficult night for Labour, a jubilant night. A humbling night for Liberals and a jubilant night for Labour. After 9 years with the Liberal Party in power, Scott Morrison just conceded defeat. He said that he has accepted Australia's verdict and that he has congratulated and conceded his defeat to Anthony Albanese. Mr. Albanese will now be forming the new government for Australia. It is still unclear whether this is going to be a majority government or a minority government, but the likely allies in this coalition, if it happens, will be the independents. They really have been the story of this election. Yes, Labour has done well, I think better than they thought that they would, but really the female independent candidates in this election have done better than anybody has thought. And it's very, very symbolic in a country where politics is seen as a toxic environment for women. Women independent candidates defeated male candidates in safe government seats. Women have turned their back on the Liberals, and now Liberals will have to sit and think about what has gone wrong for them. In the meantime, Labour supporters are celebrating. They're saying that this has been a long time coming. They've been waiting for it. Anthony Albanese, throughout the election, has told voters, has told Australians that it is now time for a change. They have listened, but he now has to deliver, because there is an array of issues really that Australia and the government need to get on fairly quickly, I have to say.
With the teal candidates, these female candidates, what changes do we expect in terms of climate policy?
I think this is really the change that we can expect. That climate will be at the forefront of policies now. I don't think that this government, especially if it teams up with Teal Independents, that have had climate action at the centre of their campaigning, at the centre of their policies, they can no longer just hint to it. They can no longer speak shyly about it. Remember, Labour does have ambitious climate policies. Last election, though, they've learned the hard way that if you campaign on phasing out fossil fuels, you lose the elections. So they have steered clear away from it during the campaigning, but I think they'll be much stronger now that they are in government. How strong and how aggressive they're going to go for phasing out fossil fuels, this will be coming clear. But I think climate policy can no longer be avoided, especially if we get a coalition government of Labour and those Teal Independents.
You mentioned how aggressive they can and will be. It's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people are saying that Scott Morrison, this election really was a referendum on him for his really quite aggressive steamroller political style.
Look, I think there are many moments that you can say things have gone wrong for Scott Morrison. I'm just aware that there's a bit of movement, so if Anthony Albanese appears, we'll let you know. But Scott Morrison has conceded, if you will, at the very end of the campaign, that he is a bit of a bulldozer, that he's aggressive, and maybe he should have been a more sensitive candidate, and that maybe he should change. And you could tell that he felt that people were just not responding. You could tell that he felt that people just do not like what they see anymore. But I think also there was a big misstep, for example, in the way that he handled women issues. There was a moment of reckoning about a year ago when there was a great anger among women about sex misconduct allegations, rape allegations in the House of Parliament, and he was seen as just not empathetic. He said that I should handle this like a father, and many asked, well, why do you need to be a father to handle this? You needed to handle this like a leader. So women and the way that they've reacted to the Liberal government is actually a big story here. But of course as well, his backing of the fossil fuel industry, his refusing to outright say that he will phase out fossil fuels. And so I think climate-aware voters are wanting a change. People that I'm speaking to here are saying now that this government is in place, they need to do something about climate action.
Okay, Shaima, for now, thank you very much indeed.